AOL, one of the first internet service providers, announced on Wednesday that it will no longer charge its high-speed internet customers for email and other services. Millions of AOL subscribers will no longer have to pay up to $26 a month for their plan. But the move comes at another cost. AOL plans to lay off as many as 5,000 employees. So, David Sparks, why is AOL making this kind of a change right now?
Well, it's a change they essentially had to make. It was a long time coming, and as sort of the industry was trending away from dial-up users, which, started about maybe 9 years ago, they were slowly losing all their users. They had, built up, well over 20 million users, and they keep dropping off. And probably the sort of most significant change was last quarter, they lost close to 1 million subscribers. But at the same time, their advertising revenue jumped up 40%. And Google and Yahoo have proven that advertising is definitely an area where you can make a lot of money. This was not the case about 8 years ago. And so they're realizing, well, we're going to have to trend in this direction because our main moneymaker, which was subscribers, is losing ground. And it's no longer a cash cow like it once was.
Well, when you say from advertisers is one of the ancient ones who uses AOL, the most annoying thing about it is the amount of advertising that AOL pushes at its providers. What's going to happen there? I mean, the one reason that I moved to not be an AOL user is because of the ads, the little crawlies across the screen.
Well, the question is, will they redevelop their site so advertising is pushed differently? Who knows? They're going to try to make their money in a lot of different ways. They're going to do straight advertising. They're going to sell search links, like Google does. They'll try to get people to cost per acquisition. They'll try to go into the e-commerce area. There's so many other areas besides just subscribers where they can make money, and they're going to lose a lot of money along the way to get money. There is going to be a dip and an upswing in the process, and they made it clear.
They had hitched their entire business model to dial up 56K slow connections that everybody's moving away from. So it seems like an absolute earthquake in terms of their business model. One thing I've read is that they're looking at creating their own television content, like an HBO, where they make a TV show that you can only see on HBO, or only on AOL, rather. How much of a chance does that kind of stuff have in terms of being a new revenue model? Well,
if it's compelling enough, people do it. I mean, take a look at HBO. Why do people get HBO? Well, I want to see Entourage. I want to see The Sopranos. The only way one can consume that, is really, be a subscriber to HBO or rent the DVD or gather it illegally through something like BitTorrent. But so what they will hopefully have to do is get that one leading piece of content to bring people there. They started something called Into TV, which was a whole series of old content, old television shows like Welcome Back, Kotter, which I don't think has been as successful as they were hoping it to be, but they had access to all this content, so they made it available.
And they were putting ads inside that, like a TV ad?
Well, they run a pre-roll advertisement. The problem with video ads is that there's not as much online video ads there's not as much variety as you would see in your normal television. So say you watch like 5 or 6 shows on Into TV, you would probably see the same exact Intel ad in front of every single show.
Dave, we've been talking a bit about the failed business model, as Paul mentioned, but there's sort of a dinosaur graveyard aspect to this with how they've been operating. I mean, you've got AOL, they bought Netscape, another now dead brand out there. And then they had the whole disastrous tie-up with Time Warner, where AOL bought out the largest media company in the world. Are we looking at a series of bad decisions that led AOL to this pass, or are they a victim of circumstance, in which case, what does that bode for all the industry leaders like Google now? Will they one day be the next AOL?
Well, a lot of people will say that, but you know what? AOL has a significant market, and I kind of refer to it as sort of the bottom tier of users. And the bottom tier of users may not be as savvy as the internet user. I know I'll get a lot of people angry and say, hey, I'm an AOL user. I'm not a bottom tier user. But most people who are with AOL are doing it for the sort of the international access, or they just haven't bothered to upgrade. They have AOL has made some bad decisions, but they've made some good decisions. I mean, they now own Weblogs, which is probably the most top-tier blog community or network of blogs that are out there. They're hopefully going to make some better decisions. I think what happened was they were so tied to the subscriber base that they didn't really know what to do. And now that they realize this is falling away, or, well, they've known it for quite some time, that they're going to this is a very aggressive announcement to the whole industry saying we're moving.
So who are the winners and losers here? I take it that AOL subscribers are going to pay less and some are going to pay nothing, and you were saying that people who don't subscribe to AOL might do even better. But what about those 5,000 employees?
Well, the 5,000 employees who are going away, unfortunately, they will get severance packages, as I understand, and it's because they're not going to really be supporting the internet service, the dial-up service. But what the boon for the average user out there who was or was not using the AOL content is they now have access to it for free. AOL has been doing a good job of branding itself. I mean, you talk about bad things. They have one thing that's amazing is their AOL Instant Messenger. I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's bigger than all the others. They bought an enormous instant messenger, ICQ. Actually, I don't know who's bigger currently, probably AOL Instant Messenger. So they have got an enormous market of users, more so in that than they do their subscribers.
We're out of time. Bottom line, though, some people will save money, some will not. That is, why not?
In terms of...
this move by AOL.
Well, consumers all benefit from it. AOL's... The big question is, will they be able to generate new revenue from all these different models, like advertising and e-commerce and search and things like that?
The people paying $26 get it for $10 a month from now on.
Correct. Well, that's the plan, starting in September.
Okay. All right. Thanks, David.